hello. You're wondering if we get fig trees. We do. The only fig tree that I've ever found in the areas that we can traverse on is actually one on Cheetah Plains. Unfortunately, we don't traverse on those areas anymore. But if you go down to the southern sands, you see one of my favorite, probably the large leaf rock fig. And that's quite amazing to see the way that they are able to grow on the granite boulders. All their roots and things are exposed, and it's quite pretty. I don't actually have a picture, but maybe someone can Google a picture of the rock figs, and you can see how exquisite their root system is. And then, of course, the sycamore figs. There's so many different types of fig trees, but yes, you do. When you get down to the areas where you get the bigger river systems, then you will find lots of them. And that's a really good area for birding, especially if there's lots of fruits, because you'll get the brown-headed parrots, you get trumpeter hornbills, you get, what else will you get that goes down? The go-away birds, African green pigeons will be around, no doubt. Purple-crested turacos. It's birding paradise when you get to see any of the fig trees that have fruit on. It's really quite lovely. We used to just sit there for ages and ages and ages. And then also the wasps, the fig wasps, also parasitize them. I'm not a huge fan of eating them. I love figs, but I like preserved figs, if anything. I like the sweetness, and to have that with maybe a gorgonzola, delicious, and on a little salted biscuit or something like that. That is quite nice. Although biscuit, if I say biscuit, the South Africans will know what I'm talking about. In America, you wouldn't understand. A cracker. Cracker is probably a good word to use to describe what we call a biscuit. What else is quite nice? Craigie, what's your favorite fruit in the bush? Marulas? Another good one, and I was telling you about it, spoke about it every now and then. It's also in the Diospyros family, so the same family as the jackalberries is the common star apple, which you get down in Eastern Cape. It's not a tree, it's more of a shrub, and they're delicious. Tastes like a grape crossed with a lychee. Anything else down in the Eastern Cape that was quite nice? Trying to think now. No, there weren't too many fruit trees, unfortunately. Oh, num-nums are really nice. What is it? Carissa bispinosa. So I was trying to remember the Latin name for a second there. That's delicious. We should start seeing their fruits now. Perhaps we'll have to go and search and see if we can't find the odd num-num that's growing near Chele Pan, and we'll check them. There's actually one big one in there. We'll have to go off-road slightly. It's easier to get in when you're doing a bushwalk, but we can't take the cameras off of the car. But maybe we'll go and check them. They've also got lovely smelling flowers. They're quite delicious. Bushman's bubblegum. They're really cool to chew. And they've also one of the few plants that has a milky latex, and you can actually eat them. Most plants with milky latex are toxic. Ooh. James, another fantastic question from you. You're wondering, how do the trees that bear their fruits in winter get their required nutrients to sort of produce that fruit? Well, I suppose maybe they save up nutrients. I'm not sure. It's a hard question to ask. You think about it and it makes sense, because we often talk about how in winter there are less nutrients. But for instance, I know that jackalberries, I was going to say nyala berries, it's similar trees. They've got very good root systems, so they're able to tap down into water sources that may say another tree with a shorter root system aren't able to reach. So perhaps that's got something to do with it, that they're able to get the required water amount of water that they need to still fully function. Maybe that's one of the reasons. I'll have to do a bit of research on that. Actually, I've got a really cool plant book, so I'll have a look in it and see if it says anything about that, how they are able to do things like this. Ooh. Oh my goodness, very quickly, let's go across to Ali and a creepy crawly.
Creepy crawly indeed! How exciting! It's been so hot that we've got what looks to be a puff adder that's come and join us on the road.
Go closer.
Amazing! Sabi, sorry, what's your update there?
Thank you.
I don't know what it is that they're looking. Don't go. Okay, it's just, I think I'm gonna go forward, so because then it's gonna come past those bushes and we're gonna be able to have a bit of a better look. How amazing it is to see a snake! I've been wanting to see one for a while, and you see that funny motion that it moves. It's almost like it drags itself all the way. Beautiful. Seems to be a puff adder. They have this very funny shaped body that's very small and stout, but look how quickly it's moving. Going back into safety in between the bushes over there. Amazing. Huh. That was a very cool find. Definitely an unexpected one. Alright, let's I don't think we can see it anymore. No, I think it's definitely hiding in between the bushes over there. A bit of a ha! That was very nice! Yay, we found a snake! I've been wanting to see a snake for a while. That was pretty nice. So I think that was a puff adder. One of the venomous species of snakes that we get around here. Jennifer, you say, yeah, a snake. Exciting times. I haven't seen one in quite a long time, so we got very, very excited to see it. And, you know, I think we also started screaming a little bit when we saw it because we got so happy that there was a snake in sight. Now, that is one of the venomous species of snake that we get in this area, and so there are different types of venom of the snakes that live in this part of the world. That specific one, they've got what's called a cytotoxic venom, so it's a venom that once injected into its prey or into a human, it pretty much causes a necrosis and the death of all the tissue around that particular area. So it's when you start getting those snake bites that get very big and swollen, and pretty much everything around the bite size starts dying. All the cells around there start dying. So it's quite a horrible and painful thing to suffer, but a very beautiful snake. So I'm actually happy I didn't step on it. Funny enough, that's one of the main things that happens with this particular species. People step on them. Rashni, you're wondering if that's a juvenile. No, that's an adult. They're not the biggest of snakes around here. They don't get to the sizes of pythons or mambas. So that was a pretty decent size for a puff adder. Very beautiful, that weaving and the scales and everything. I thought it was wonderful. Ha! Very excited to see a snake. Now it went all the way into the bushes, and because it is a venomous snake, I'm not going to go and grab it and disturb it. Also, I don't have any sort of qualification in snake handling, so let's rather be safe than sorry. I wouldn't want to be rushed to a hospital because I'm doing a foolish thing. We are dealing with potentially wild animals, doesn't matter how small they are. So always give them the benefit of the doubt. Now, I think my heart is still pouncing. I was so excited to see that. So good proof that on very hot days like today, even during the winter time, the animals are out and about, particularly the reptiles. So who knows, maybe we'll start seeing some more of them. And like I was saying earlier on, normally these are ambush predators, so they will curl themselves up and just stay in the same spot for quite a while and patiently wait for the predator to walk to them. They don't really go out and start hunting, so they just kind of sit still and wait for everything to come to them. And often, because they are so still, and you saw the colors, and as soon as it went into the bushes, it was almost impossible to see. A lot of the times what happens is that we step on them, and that's why when we get hurt, because we step on a very venomous snake. Paul, you're wondering if the snake is a poisonous animal for other animals to eat. Not really. As long as they don't eat the glands where the venom is in the top of the head, then it shouldn't be a reason why. It's not, the whole animal is not venomous, so, or poisonous to other creatures. Oh, I do have a car behind us, so I'm gonna let them go ahead, because I'm sure they want to go much quicker than what we are. We want to go slowly so that we don't miss the little creature around. Hello. Alrighty. Now we shall carry on moving. So yes, and a lot of the animals that do eat snakes, for example, like snake eagles and honey badgers, and pretty much any other small carnivores out here, they will not, as long as they don't eat the head, or like I said, they don't touch the fangs of the snake that are situated on the top of its jaw, then there's really nothing to worry about. Actually, even some species of mongoose and honey badgers love eating snakes. Brandon, you're wondering if I have any anti-venom on me in case we get bitten. No, I don't, and there's none in camp either. And the reason for it is because the current way of treating snakes is very tricky, because we have pretty much 3 main groups of snakes in South Africa that have different types of venoms. One of them is the one that I was telling you about, like this one we saw. It's a cytotoxic venom. Then we've got species like the mambas that have got a neurotoxic venom that affects your nervous system, and that's the one that sort of starts paralyzing your body and all its muscles until it reaches your heart and you pretty much die, which is not ideal. And then we've got another one, which is one of the most famous representatives of this type of venom is the boomslang, which is a very long green, the male snake, and they affect the clotting ability of your blood. So if you get a cut, it can be a bit tricky. Now, because there are so many different species of venomous snakes all around South Africa, the way that snake bites are being treated is not by injecting antivenom, because if you inject the wrong antivenom, then it can just be as bad because your body's not really fighting anything. So what happens is that you go into the ICU and you get assisted, or your body gets assistance from all these machines to fight the venom on its own, obviously under a very risk-guarded and under a very close look from all the medical practitioners, because if they inject the wrong antivenom, that's not really going to do anything. So I think the way that it's been treated is just to let your body fight its own thing and just help your body fight it on its own. So no antivenom to be found. Probably because there have been so many misidentifications of snakes. Alright. Do you think there was an update on the radio that I should probably try and figure out what it was? I'm not too sure what that could be. So let me just... Sabi for Ali Sabi. Can any Chitwa stations copy me? Alright, I don't think they can, and I can definitely not hear them, so I'm going to carry on and do a bit of a longer loop around, see if perhaps I manage to get a hold of anyone. Oh, hello Impala. Cross the road if you please. No? No crossing the road? Okay. Then thank you, we shall carry on. Bye-bye, girls. And boy. Now, we're heading onto the Molo Wanini, which is another drainage line, potential gremlin zone. So, hopefully we'll be able to fight it off. I am hoping we will. Nothing to be scared. Not too many clouds up in the sky, which I'm sure it's one of the reasons why we had so many gremlin attacks this morning. I'm pretty sure the weather does something to the tech cyberspace world that I don't understand. But I am convinced that there's something that goes on when there are too many clouds.
Hello everybody, look what I've got for you. I've actually got some presents. I'm just going to go forward slightly. Where are they gone? Here they are. Yeah, I'm just going to park up ahead. I found a present for you, Jenny Animation. The thing that you were looking for is park in the we can do golden light. Let's do golden light. I need to wash them though. There they are. You won't believe it. I found those nuts, can you believe it? Not at the base of a marula tree, but at a tamboti tree. I was looking for jumping beans to see if any of the grey moths or the tamboti moths had actually parasitized the tamboti seeds, but they haven't dropped just yet. But anyways, these are marulas. What I'm going to do is I think I'm going to give them a quick wash, Craig, if that's okay. I'm just going to wash them off of the side of the car because they're full of... There we go. We put them down there now. Full of mud. That's a little bit better. Now these have been moved around by the squirrels, and that's why they're so dirty, is because they would have been buried, because like squirrels do all over the world, they cache their food, so they store it for the harsher times, so for winters when there isn't much about. But here we go, you can see quite nicely, of course, those holes inside the little seeds there. That's where those tasty nuts are, but they have hands are very dirty now because I've been washing things, I've been digging in the mud. How can I hold this? Let's do it like that, my little finger. Don't you think it looks like a face? Ah, help me! Green thorn. And we had a look at their fruits when they were around, but they didn't. More like a berry though, but they've already had their fruit. You can see there's just a couple of leaves. They're starting to lose their leaves now too. Elephants are eating lots of them. Armed, which the animals browse on them, so it's not to stop the animals from eating, but by having a weapon like that to protect yourself, it does stop the animals from constantly keep feeding on you. I don't like their fruit very much. Not that nice. And that's not the only part of the tree that you can feed on too. You can eat the leaves. You can. Nice. And that's not the only part of the tree that you can feed on too. You can eat the leaves. You can. It's sort of like a spinach, if you will. I don't like it either. You've all seen the funny faces that I pull when I eat anything from buffalo thorn. Not my favorite. James seems to eat them quite a bit though. Let's continue. I'm also going to just keep an eye out for a num-num around here, because you never know, there might be one growing, one that's easier or easily accessible. We'll keep going. In the Eastern Cape, where I'm from, so on the southeast coast of South Africa, they're everywhere. They're all over. You see massive thickets of them, some really big ones too. You don't see too many of them around here. You've really got to go searching for them. They do like to grow near and around the drainage areas as well. Woo! Bounce, bounce, bounce. Any leopards around here? Check, there's some nice big trees that they could be sitting in. No. Not in these trees, I'm afraid. Patrick, a quick question from you. What is the most common tree that we see? There's so many at the moment. So for instance, we had a look at the guaris. Here's some of them again. The guari trees, the Euclea family of trees, there's many of them around here. Euclea crispa, Euclea undulata, what's the magic guari again? Euclea divinorum. So there's lots and lots of different types of guaris. It's actually quite a large family of trees. So they're quite common. And then if we look on the left, there's African wattle, just over here. That's another common one. You can see they look quite similar to the sickle bush, except the sickle bush has got big spines that come off of it. These guys don't have spines. Who else is very common? Let me go forward a little bit. That buffalo thorn that we looked at as well. All over. And then of course the bush willows. There's so many different types of bush willows around here, from the russet bush willows, large fruited bush willows, variable bush willows, you name it. Marula trees, which we've already looked at, lots and lots of them. Leadwoods, all over. It's actually hard to say what is the most common one. It depends on which sort of area you go in, will depend what type of soils are in that area. And then of course lots of silver cluster leaves. A couple of acacias, not as many as what I'm used to down in the Eastern Cape. You see pockets of them. Okay, we're coming up to Spaghetti Junction, so we're not far. We've just got to go back towards Chele Pan. Maybe I can find a sneaky one here. Like I said, I don't want to have to do too much off-roading to get to this tree. Okay, we'll go back to the one that I know. But you'll just have to bear with me though, because it might take me just a couple of minutes to relocate it. I haven't been to it for quite some time now. The last time I was at that tree was on a bushwalk. Maybe the beginning of the year. It's been a few months ago, but it hasn't moved. It isn't a migrating tree. Haha. It's actually quite funny. I bumped into Mike from Cheetah Plains, and he had a lovely bunch of guests who were very excited to go on safari. I don't know how long they've already been at the lodge, but cameras are ready, that there's safari gear on, and I joked with them. Mike said he was tracking leopards, so his guests couldn't wait, and I hope that he does find a leopard for them. And he asked me what I was looking at, so I said, oh, we're looking for trees. So I told them the whole story about our treasure hunt that we're doing, and they didn't understand that. So I just said to them, I said, we're looking for a very special tree in South Africa. I said, but it moves, it's a migrating tree. And they all looked at me, and they were, you know, sort of on the edge of their seats going, really? And then I just told them I was joking. I was the worst guide in the whole world, because I just like to tell stories all the time. I would tell them that I was joking. It's in here somewhere. Just want to see, I think it could be a little bit further up. I must just remember, everything looks so different. I think we need to go in here. Let's go in here. We go in here where there's no places that I'm going to break the car on. Now to try and remember where exactly it was. Craig, do you even know what tree we're looking for? Num num. Do you know what a num num looks like? Yeah, I can smell something delicious. Now, where are you? Put your hand up. Please put a branch up, should I say. Herbie, if Herbie was here, he would tell me exactly whereabouts it is. It's in here, because I remember I've actually walked in one of the walks I did with Steph and Herbie. We actually spent quite a bit of time looking at this tree. Sometimes it's easier to find things on foot. Right, bumbling about, trying to find a num-num. Where are you? And I don't think the elephants would have pulled it out either, because it was quite a large one. Maybe it's actually further in than what I remember. This is crazy, driving around here looking for a tree. Where is it? It's going to be such an anticlimax if I can't find it. I'm not leaving this area until I do find it, that's for sure. Okay, so we always come out of the drainage line and then we go here, and then there's also a fallen tree where there were stingless bees living in it, and I thought it was here. Now my mind is trying to figure out where on earth it has moved, or where it's gone now. Christopher, you're hilarious. You said maybe it's migrated. You laugh, but you never know. No, of course we do know. Let me find that fallen log. These elephants have knocked so many different types of trees over now since I was last in here. Oh my goodness, I think I can see a southern bobo. If you go very quickly straight into the bush, up in there, there's a bird. Did you see it hopping? Yes, it is. Come out. I think it's a southern bobo. It is a southern bobo. That's so cool. I've been wanting to show you guys a southern bobo for such a long time. Now, for those of you which know which bird that is, it's just flowing to the back. Let's see if it maybe comes out. And you're wondering why on earth I'm getting so excited about a southern bobo, is because this could be the first one that I've seen up in the north. Down in the south, they're everywhere. In the Eastern Cape, I see them everywhere, and they're one of the great mimickers as well. They can mimic over 30 different species of birds, not quite as capable as the fork-tailed drongos that can mimic other mammal species, never mind just bird species, but they're beautiful. Let me go into this thicket. Let me go close. We're gonna, while we're looking, we're trying to find a tree, and we're trying to get a decent view of this bird. I can't believe that. That's so cool. Yes, it's just flying here. Maybe it's leading me to my num-num. Imagine that. Imagine it sits and lands on the num-num. I'm going to get you, southern bobo. Now, the noise that I'm making, that noise. It's called chuffing, and you can actually call small birds out like that. Now, Roshni, you said that this is a new bird for you. It might be a new bird for a few of you. It's, like I said, you don't always get to see it. They're not shy though, so it should be happy around here. Let me try again. It almost sounds when they call like a car starting, struggling to start. You can see some movement, but is it? There's lots of little birds here. Okay, let me go around again. Watch your head, Craig. Sorry, we have to go underneath this little gap here. No, there it is. Come back here. It's just flying. It's on the outside. You see where the movement is on? Look, just a little bit higher. It's kind of, it's over there, jumping over there. Also quite a territorial bird, so it might respond to us. I can see it moving around with my eyes, but I can't see it on the camera, so we're obviously not on the right spot. It's in here, but just behind. Never did I think I would be so patient for a bird, but I've been saying I want to show you southern bobo for such a long time that I want to get a decent view of it so that you can at least get a screenshot. It's just flown. It's gone into this thicket. Okay, let's go underneath. Are you good there, Craig? It's not a big branch. We'll just push through it. However, do you know what's quite pretty, Craig? Oh no, never mind, it's flown away. Where's my tree? Where's my bird? Nature, you can't be this horrible to me. I think that's a little bit unfair. Where are you? Well, there's something else hopping through there now. I don't know if we're going to get lucky with the tree or with the bird. A little bit, makes me a little bit sad, this. It's obviously quite shy. Okay, let's keep searching for my tree. I don't know where my tree is now, but I think I can. Like I said, I'm just trying to find exactly whereabouts that beehive was from the stingless bees. You know what? I think it was here, and I think then the num num was here too. And there's an old off-road track here. We've had quite a few lion sightings. Maybe we'll find it on this side. There's also dwarf boerbeens. There were lots of different trees growing around here. I've just completely now forgotten. It's escaped my mind as to where it was. Oh, they're not growing around the pan here. No. Nope. Surely there has to be one in here. Not winning at the moment, am I? Yeah, let's move back and go out of here. Never in my life did I think it was going to be so difficult to try and find the tree. I suppose when you haven't been to an area for such a long time, these memories, well, they turn into memories. Herb, you've said, oh no, actually, can you say that again? Sorry, Alice, I thought I understood the question, or I heard the question properly, but then I realized I actually didn't. I just heard the beginning part, heard Herb's name. I can't hear that first word that you're saying. It's just coming through as a I'm playing decipher what Alice is saying. No. Are you saying R. Tolkien? Is that what that's being said? No, I can't understand. I can't hear it. It's a very Tolkien type of thing to have the trees disappearing off into the drainage line, says Herb. I'm so sorry, it was very difficult to try and decipher that word that was coming over the radio. Sometimes we have interference and it's almost impossible to even make out the most simplest words. I suppose it is, isn't it? I don't know where my num-num is. I'm so confused right now. I'm going to have to try and get hold of Herbert to ask him whereabouts this num-num is. I know it's in here and I can find it on foot, no problem. But that means I need to leave the car. Okay, we'll give it a skip. We'll have to try and find it another time. So frustrating. Right. I'm going to leave it. We'll try again in the morning to come and find it when we've got a bit more light, because at the moment we are sort of racing against time, really. We don't have much light left. We have to try and I'll give it a bash in the morning. I'll chat to Herbie tonight. Like I said, I just actually need to go in on foot because I know it's near a termite mound, and near that termite mound is a pushed over tree, and there's two dwarf boerbeens growing quite closely together, and then just in front of that, just slightly east of that, is this massive num-num. But it's somewhere in this block over here. And I keep forgetting, when we were walking in this area, it was still fairly open. Everything was much shorter than this, I think the last time that I saw it. So it could actually be further in, closer to the drainage line than what I'm thinking. Because when everything is open, it feels like, you know, the distance is a lot shorter. But as soon as it becomes denser, it's quite, everything's a bit deceiving. Anyways, we'll try our luck again. We do get them here. There are a couple of them scattered about. There's actually another one on Twin Dams Road. Should we try and go to it, Craig? We'll try our best, but it's a long way around now, because now I am back on Weaver's Nest, and that means we'll have to go through Fullerman's Dip, and I can't remember if it's before Wahlberg's Road or after, so we'll have to go all the way past Inger's, down Wahlberg's Road, and just do the whole length of it, because I can't exactly remember whereabouts it is, but I know there is another one on there. Maybe that will be easier to find. Just check here. Sorry, Craig, hold on, no brakes! We'll just have to speed through that little dip. Nothing there. All the way back up towards Quarantine we go. Who knows what we'll find. Maybe we'll find some elephants or some buffalo walking up to that area. I'll check across the drainage system, see if I can spot anything as well. Over that little bump. It seems as though Ali's fighting gremlins like you have no idea. She hasn't got any signal at all. I don't know where she is. Okay, we're almost up here near Wahlberg's Road. Wait, sorry car, I don't have brakes, so I have to use your gears when I need to slow down. Very quiet up on Quarantine this evening. Doesn't look like anything has made its way up here. And all the birds have disappeared now too. Okay, nothing here. Adam, you're wondering which animal would I have as a pet in Kruger if I could have it? I'm going to go with elephant again. I love elephants so much, and I think that they're such handy creatures. I don't know. I don't try and teach it all kinds of cool tricks and things. I don't know what I would do with an elephant, but I'd like to have one. But of course, we're just talking figuratively now. If you could choose one. But unfortunately I can't, but that would be very, very nice. Right, let's try and go across to Ali. I don't know how long or how it's going to work, but let's go and see if she's managing to keep those gremlins at bay.
Whew. We've had a very aggressive fight with the gremlins, but luckily we've managed to fight them off and find a very beautiful view of the moon, which is slowly coming into its full phase. Hopefully tomorrow we'll have a beautiful full moon. I think maybe tomorrow is the day, because it's still missing that tiny little spot at the bottom. Pretty much the moon coming to say hello all the way from Chitwa. And funny enough, we have got the moon and the sun out at the same time on opposite ends of the sky. But look at that. That is a stunning view of Chitwa. Not too bad. I could go to sleep thinking about this beautiful view that we've had today. And of course, over here we have got some of the main inhabitants of the dam, making those ripples over there, going away, going in. Yay, we've got a pod of hippos. So the one that's been coming up and down, that seems to be the youngest one. I'm sure not too far from its mother. And we saw them a couple of days ago. I think maybe this is the mother. Saw them a couple of days outside sunbathing. So I think maybe that's what they've been doing during the day. And once it's become a bit cold, and they've all been enjoying the water. Now you seem to have some injuries in your ear, don't you? Perhaps a bit of an older one over here. So hippos are quite aggressive even between males and females, and sometimes even their mating or the nudging of the male trying to get the female to mate leaves quite a few scars. So I wonder if perhaps that's why the ear looks that way. So I think the two big ones that we're looking at, I think they might be females, just because I can see two young calves that pop in and out of the water, or pop their heads in and out of the water every now and again. There we go, the moving bushes at the back, that is where the other hippo is. I think that's a smaller hippo. Now when we just have this view of their heads, you can imagine why it's so hard for... You see there's a hippo moving? Looks like something from like a Peter Pan moving. And we know it's not Vlad, because Vlad is out of the water. That is... Kim, you're wondering if hippos have predators. Well, when they're small, the young calves might have to be a bit wary of crocodiles, although the mothers are always there to defend them, so crocodiles don't really mess with hippos all that much. And outside of the water, their main predator could be lions. But even then, not too many times, well, perhaps even hyenas, I suppose, but even then the predators don't really come to small hippo calves, because they have the protection of their mothers that have got some very sharp tusks. I would say probably the biggest threat to hippos worldwide, although I don't think that they are considered an endangered species at the moment by the IUCN. It's just lack of habitat and shrinking areas for them to live in because of encroaching human species that are taking over. And there's our good old friend Vlad. Now I wonder if he's going to stick around, or if perhaps there's going to be another one, because this is the time of the year when crocodiles start mating, normally July to September. They go off looking for a partner to start mating with, and then the females are going to lay their eggs. If Vlad is a he or a she, it would be quite hard to tell. They don't have any, and we would have to pretty much turn it around, and I don't think Vlad would be too happy for that. definitely not going to try. I mean, look at those very powerful legs, that very thick and powerful tail, and those massive teeth. And there was one of the Facebook lives that went on today from our partners all the way up in the Mara. And I think it was actually one of the unmanned cameras on the river crossings, and it was this incredible footage of this very big crocodiles, the same species, and now crocodiles all the way in the Masai Mara, just taking advantage of all the creatures that are starting to cross the rivers now. So it is quite amazing how at the same time of the year, the same species in different areas can have such a different approach of life. Hello, little one. Now, you see the mom is pretty much standing there halfway out, so I'm pretty sure this youngster, it's either standing on its back legs or trying to come onto the shore where it's a bit more shallow. So I'm really hoping they're going to carry on moving in this direction so that we can have a view of them outside of the water. That would be quite nice. Tiny little hippo is so cute, isn't it? No, I thought I saw something, but I think I'm just seeing things all the way at the back. Come, guys. Slowly but surely, I think that little one is starting to gain some confidence. Perhaps they're coming to share the island with the crocodile. Look at that. I think that was a yawn. Nothing really to be concerned about. And there is a tiny little one. So you see, hippos, they also make some formidable mothers. Very protective of their youngsters, of their little calves. And it's because of those big teeth that they have got that not too many creatures actually dare to mess with them. Such a cute little hippo. Alright, so I don't know if you can get to it, but on that dead tree behind the hippos, there's a giant kingfisher up there as well, which I haven't seen here before. So it's another species to add to the Chitwa Dam lists for me. There we go, the giant kingfisher. Beautiful. And like we saw, I think it was yesterday, we saw a brown-hooded kingfisher yesterday morning. This is one of the other species of kingfisher that stays around this area, and they don't really migrate and leave us for the winter months. They are here all year long. So maybe the last one that we've got to see now at Chitwa Dam is a malachite kingfisher, because we've seen now the pied, the king, and the brown-hooded kingfisher roughly around this area, which is very exciting. Now, what is that other little thing jumping around there? I think it's a bit too far for us to tell. Even with our very powerful cameras, some things are just out of reach. So I don't think we're going to be able to do any birding from here to there. Pretty much the opposite end. And
the light is also...
Yeah, the light, you're right, the light is starting to fade. And every now and again we hear the hippos go... That's them communicating. I think, yes, that is a very good idea, just to show how beautiful those clouds are starting to look. Ooh. Stunning, isn't it? Very beautiful colors. Whew, that's very dramatic. Well done, Sam. I think that's very pretty. I love it when the clouds are around here, because it just adds so much more to the beauty of the sunset. Makes it completely different. I don't think we would enjoy it as much if there were no clouds. Oh, such beautiful colors. And tomorrow we're probably going to have an interesting one as well, with the full moon coming up. Now another typical African sunset, with of course featuring one of our beautiful trees that Tayla has been talking about this afternoon. Seems to me like this is also an old knobthorn. Wonderful. It almost seems like somebody's painted the sky. It is very beautiful. And we can just hear in the distance all the chorus of all the little ones. Natalie, you're saying that that was a screenshot. Well, very happy that you found it as beautiful as we did, and you tried to save it on your screen. Now let's see what else it is that is around here. We are a bit wary of moving around just in case the gremlins attack us, so let's just see what else we can spot from here. I do know that there are some hippos further in the distance. Oh, my binoculars got a bit tangled up. So let's see if maybe they do something a bit more interesting. Like I was saying, I wonder where Boreas has gone, because maybe one of them could have been a he and the other one could have been a she, and then we would have had tiny little baby crocodiles, which would have been quite interesting. Maybe we couldn't even find the nest and see them hatch. Okay, well, maybe I'm getting a bit ahead of myself with all this process, but that would have been amazing to see. And I think perhaps we've got a bit of a loner crocodile. Is that a tiny hippo? Yes, another small baby hippo. Perfect creche to have all of them around here. They've got company, they've got sunbathing partners, and then of course the protection of all the other hippos in this area. I wonder what those hippos are after. Seems like they're being quite funny, making all sorts of noises. And then of course, if you're wondering, that lodge in front of us, that is a Chitwa lodge. So Matt, you're wondering how many water pans and rivers there are in Djuma. Well, there's one dry riverbed, the Malawati, but I think if it flows once a year, that's a lot. So no big rivers there. And we have 3 main dams. So we've got one in front of the lodge, then Treehouse Dam and Twin Dams. Oh, sorry, and one more, Buffelshoek Dam. How could I forget? And then there's one panish that's also close to the lodge called Galago Pan that sometimes has water, sometimes it doesn't. But just one of those dams is artificially pumped. The rest of them are not pumped, but once they go dry, then they are pretty much dry for the season. So they will only fill up once more once the rainy season starts. I think we are going to face the gremlins once more, see what else is lurking around Chitwa. But while we do that, and we enjoy one last beautiful look at the moon, let's go over to Tayla, who's busy bumbling along.
We're heading back towards the cut line now. Apparently Tingana was moving south, but it seems as though he's sat down. So I'm just going to wait on the boundary and hopefully we'll get a view of him. Otherwise we'll give it a couple of minutes. If not, we'll probably move out and go and look for something else. We just got a little bit of the way to go still. Just listening to the radio just to find out where exactly this leopard has sat down. The reason why I say we won't hang around for too long is because he's been moving for most of the afternoon by the sounds of it, and he might stop for a little rest. He could rest for half an hour, he could rest for an hour. I'm not exactly sure, but they said he's laying flat at the moment, and he's still quite a way off. He's still about 200 meters or so before he even gets towards the cut line. I don't know if I've got much patience in me today after not being able to find my num tree. Like I said, tomorrow I'll go walking in that area and I will find it because it hasn't moved. It still just has to be there. It might just be underneath one of the knob thorns one of the many knob thorns that the elephants have pushed down sort of last year or something, or maybe even a little bit earlier, maybe this year. They don't look like they're that old, or the damage is that old. It's very cold this evening, very chilly. Stand by, Lex. I'm just approaching Buffelshoek cut line, Gari cut line. I know I'm about to, now I'm just turning onto Buffelshoek. I'm about to go through it. Must I continue going east? Just going to try and listen to where Lex is. He said he's going to just start his car. Ah. Okay, copy. Thanks. I've got your audio. Okay, so Tingana is just up in this drainage line. So he's down in there, but still quite a distance away, unfortunately. But I did hear Lex started his car up for me, and so that I could get an idea. Now, like I said, he was moving straight south, coming straight towards the boundary. So I'm sure once he's had a little rest, he'll probably come back this way. But like I said, it could be now, it could be in 5 minutes, it could be in an hour, it could be tomorrow. I don't know when he's going to decide to move. But there's a little drongo if you'd like to have a watch of him. He's flying about at the moment, obviously looking for some last minute insects. There's a couple of them around here. It's not a bad area to feed. Obviously looking for butterflies, maybe a grasshopper. But I can't imagine they'd be too active now at this time of the night. There's another one. Whoop. Oh no, that was the same one. There's actually, sorry, there are a couple of others around here too. And look at that. Left, right, left, right. Looking around. It's amazing. Here we go. Looks like it's spotted something else. Whoop. Not a big loop. You can see there are a couple of small insects flying around too. So it could be going for these little midge-like things. But that wouldn't really be a tasty meal. But if you caught 100 of them, it would probably do you good. I suppose it's just like the bats, the Microchiroptera, the insect-eating bats. And go around and can devour hundreds of thousands of mosquitoes in one night. Though we're not really seeing mosquitoes at this time of the year. It's a bit too chilly. I'm so sorry, I can't hear the name. Sumanx, I think you've said. You're wondering, or you've said that birds make quite a bit of a noise. And then the question was, but can they hear well? The hearing is actually not too bad. Their sense of smell seems to be underdeveloped from what the scientists have to say. Some birds hear better than others. It depends on what they're feeding on, I suppose. So you might find a bird that feeds on fruit will not have as well developed hearing as, say, something like, say, a black-shouldered kite, for example, because they often respond to sounds, rustling in the grass when looking for rodents, and they perch themselves on top of a tree. The eyesight of pretty much all the birds is fantastic. It's just their sense of smell that seems to be slightly underdeveloped. You can imagine, eyesight and hearing, though, would be quite important for birds, and particularly owls. Owls have got exceptional hearing. Oh my goodness, I'm shouting so loudly, and I just realized that I'm in a drainage line and it's echoing. So everyone in that leopard sighting has probably heard exactly what I have to say about birds and their senses. I heard an echo and then I panicked for a moment. I thought, what? Maybe you need to tone it down a little bit, Tayla. Sometimes I do get a bit loud and I have to tell myself to keep quiet. I hear my dad's voice in my head. He always says, settle, to me. Well, that's what he used to say when I was growing up. Settle, Tayla, settle. So those are the words that I'm hearing now. Or do you have to be so loud? I'm standing right next to you. You don't need to shout. I get excited when I talk, though. I love telling stories. Just moving slightly. I'm going to turn around again, though. Oh, wait, what's happened here? Is this another road? I remember this. I'm going to drive this. This used to be an old 2-track that we drove. Oh my goodness, I can't tell you how many times, countless times, when the kahumas were just off the edge of the drainage line. Let's drive it. Oh no, it's just a little link now to the fire break. Well, that's disappointing. I thought it was going to go somewhere exciting. We'll do another loop around. Go this way around this time. Hyena or leopard tracks here. Hyena tracks. And the hyenas were very busy. These actually might be the old hyena tracks. They don't look hugely fresh from the day that they were feeding on an impala carcass around this area. Just gonna go through. Gonna go through here. We're gonna do one more loop, and if Tingana hasn't woken up by then I'm afraid I'm going to move out of the area. Maybe we'll get him in the morning. Like I said, he could lay down there for quite some time. There's a big hyena that walked here. Lady Starfire, you said that Tingana's being a long distance leopard today. I suppose he is, but we haven't had a view of him yet. He's just avoiding us. Perhaps he doesn't want me to see him. Maybe he's upset that I spent so much time with Mvula. And he's wondering why I don't spend so much time with him. And that's only just because Tingana hasn't given me a sighting for long enough that I could sit with him for 3 hours. Mvula, on the other hand, he has. Right, let's go out of low range. Always good to climb a steep hill like that to pop your vehicle into low range. It just makes it a little bit easier. Still lots of hyena tracks around here. Right, come on Tingana, if you're gonna move you better make it now. He's still laying flat, says Lex. Go back down into the drainage. I wonder if it is the knobthorn flowers that I'm smelling. I can't remember what a knobthorn flower smells like. They do smell quite pleasant. I think it is them. That's that lovely sweet smell that we're getting at the moment. Maybe that's why when I look down on the ground I can't find any plants with white flowers on. Just chatting on the radio again. Just talking, it sounds like he's in a very tight spot, and it's just difficult for everybody to view anyway, especially with him laying flat. Come on Tingana, please come out for us. We can't have an entire drive or entire day without a cat. But I'll wait here for a couple more minutes. We need to put our infrared on. I'm going to send you across to Ali. She's left Chitwa Dam. Who knows what she's going to find next.
Who knows? We also don't know what we're going to find next. We were patiently waiting because Sabi has been dying to try and get a shot of the crocodile getting into the water, but it seems like it's pretty set in its ways and it's not going anywhere. So we have packed up and put in an extra few 4 or 5 layers, and we are on the look for pretty much anything. Any nocturnal creatures would be nice, and I cannot believe that there's been no elephants, and we've been very desperately looking for them. So just in case we do find them in the dark, we have put on our IR, but we can switch on a little bit later if we have to. But it would be wonderful to spot any ellies, or perhaps even a tundi. Now, there were no tracks anywhere around Chitwa, and I don't think any of the guys had her, so I don't think she's been around here. But at least we went and looked for her and the elephants all the way at Chitwa Dam, because one day I will get those elephants swimming in that dam. Here's to some wishful thinking. Now, it seems like it's going to be quite a crisp and wonderful evening, I'm sure. Well, not too many stars, I don't think, because the moon is almost full, so it's going to be shining very bright. And tonight, I think they had a very good evening last night. All the predators moving around and the mist helped them out this morning. But I think tonight is not going to be that good for them, because a full moon or a semi-full moon casts a lot of light during the nighttime, so it's going to be a bit harder for them to sneak up on their potential prey species, because the animals are going to be able to see better in the dark. So hopefully then all of the lions will understand that we now have buffalo and will move and wait until tomorrow night. Well, tomorrow night's going to be a full moon, so maybe they must stay at Djuma just for a few nights. As if they would hear. Alright, let's see, maybe we'll be able to spot anything around here, and if not, I think maybe in a little while we will take our spotlight out and start with our eternal list of things that we would like to see in the dark. I think I'm going to start, as always, wishing for a porcupine and then just pretty much take anything from there. Unless you're wondering if we see barn owls often at Djuma, well, they can occur in this area. I've never seen a barn owl in the Sabi sand, to be honest. Or maybe I have in the south, but not up here, not in Djuma. I think most common species that we have here are the scops owls that we hear often, the pearl-spotted owlets and the barn owls. And I think there's a pair of Burroughs eagle owls that also live on one of the roads more to the eastern side, but I also haven't been able to see those ones, so they're still a mystery to me. But I think there was quite an interesting study done a while ago about barn owls, and I think it was determined that they are the most widespread predator in all the world. So how's that? A tiny little owl outcompeted pretty much any other predator species around the world. Now I hope the gremlins don't get us. This is a bit of a gremlin zone, but we're going to be out of here quickly. Whee! Haha! No gremlins got us. Alright, I think maybe we're going to do a last loop around of the dam, see if perhaps there's anything else that has come down for a drink, while the last minute leopard decides to come down, and I'm sure he knows that it's not last minute, and that's why he's been giving Tayla such a hard time. He likes he likes to make people wait. Seems like that is Tingana's mood, but I find it funny that he's gone all the way up there, so I wonder if perhaps he's caught onto the fact that Mbula has been walking around and he's been seen often and doing this and that. So maybe he's just come back just to make sure that Mbula doesn't try any funny business and just to reassert himself as the dominant male around here. But Mbula, I'm sure, has got a few tricks up his sleeve. He was the dominant male around this area for quite a long time, so he knows this area quite well too. Alright, we have a ride at Twindoms. Ellie, you're wondering if I think leopards can tell humans apart. Well, I think so, actually. Not when we come onto the vehicles. I think that when we are driving around, I pretty much think that they have absolutely no idea if it's this human or that human. They might be able to recognize different different brands and types of vehicles, because some of them are longer, some of them are shorter, some of them make more noise than the others. But I was lucky enough to know one of the trackers that has been working in this area for over 20 years, and he was just one of those incredible people, and his name is Mumps. I think he's working at Royal Malewan now. And I think leopards could tell him apart from the rest of the trackers and the rest of the people, because he had been tracking some of these creatures since they were tiny little cubs. And often they would just let them follow them. The leopards would just let him follow them, and the leopards would walk in front and he would walk behind them. So I think that was a very special relationship he formed, but I don't think anybody else would be able to do it. Right, seems like Tayla's patience has paid off, so let's go over to the last minute leopard.
Finally, and look at him, he's putting on a show for us. Mr. Tingana is making a lot of noise. He is making his presence known to everybody in this area. You can see he's jumping up against that tree at the moment. So as you know, with most cats, they have glands in their cheeks. So he's making that scent, well, he's putting that scent all over the leaves, and then you saw him curl his tail up. And of course, not only is he urine spraying, a way in which they typically mark their territory, like I said, he's rasping as what we call the soaring. How great is this? Well, I'm just actually going to turn that light off. He's going to walk right out and in front of us. Pretty amazing. Now you might see a couple of flashes and things along the way. That's not from us. There are other vehicles with us. He's walking right in front of our car. We're going to just stick with him in infrared. I think it looks quite nice. And I'll leave my lights on for all the other cars so that they can also have a good view of him. I'm really enjoying the infrared at the moment. It is absolutely beautiful. But I'm just hoping that he's going to make a noise again. But not just yet. Okay. Let me move up forward. Sorry, Craig. Thank you, Lex. Hi, guys. I'm going to just try and pull off the road slightly so that we can all see. But it is a bit tricky. And there he is, just next to the car. He's scraping on the ground, so he's urinating. And also by pawing the ground like that, the scent is getting on his feet, much in the way that a rhino, when they mark their territories, they do the same thing. They scrape the ground, so all the urine will get onto their feet, and then also by sort of scraping the ground, it opens up the scent and you can smell it a lot more prominently. Like, I hope he keeps going south and he doesn't go east again, otherwise it's going to be a very short sighting of this man. I just want to let these other cars drive in front. You're welcome to go ahead. We can just play leapfrog. Here we go. So we just, how beautiful is that? Tingana and the moon. Very nice. So we're going to play leapfrog like we said with this other vehicle. We all need to have a chance to have a look at them. Everyone's got beanies on. Craig, we haven't quite got our beanies on just yet. Sorry, it's just I haven't got any brakes still, so it's interesting trying to maneuver around. Now, Sabi, you're wondering if a cat is ever marked up against my car. Thankfully not. I have not experienced that. You know what we're going to do? Hold on. We're going to do a sneaky Tayla move, but I know some guys have had lions urinate on a shrub next to them and they've just been that close and that they ended up getting sprayed. Sorry, Craig, hold on. I'm going the scenic way around here. I don't want to play leapfrog. I want to watch the leopard walk towards us. So in order for me to do that, I need to pick up the pace slightly. Please don't be any logs. Craig, you just watch the thorns. This one hasn't got thorns on the right. Go back onto the fire brake. I'm just going to concentrate here quickly and get in front of him, and then we'll turn all our lights off and we'll reverse. Have I done enough? We'll see in a moment if I beat him. Luckily he is marking his territory, so we might get a chance. Oh, we don't want to go. Yes. Okay, almost. Just can't see through this long grass what I'm driving over. Almost ready, Craig. Ah! Meow. He's coming slowly. And in case you have just tuned in, I'm racing around trying to reposition the car so I can give you the best view possible. I've been walking towards us. This is what we're going to do, and we'll just play reverse. There are a couple of other cars in the sighting with us, and I'll just keep moving. But you can see with these leopards, they're so relaxed around the cars. They really don't mind it at all. He's not even turning back to look at the other vehicle, but I won't pin him in. So before he gets too close, I'm going to keep reversing again. Craig, I'm just going to reverse again. Di, you said that he looks massive. He's a beautiful leopard. He's a lovely boy. I would have loved to have seen him Vula in his prime a couple of years ago, 4 or 5 years ago. I think he would have been an amazing leopard to see. I might have to go and do a stalk on his Facebook page and see if I can't find some old photos. Or perhaps if you've got old photos of him Vula, you can share them with us. He's just stopped to have a look at something now. You can hashtag Safari Live, and this is live and interactive. It's happening right now in the Greater Kruger National Park. And if you're wondering why everything is in black and white, it is because we are in infrared at the moment. So it's a light that the animals can't see. And I think just because we've got cars behind us now as well, he's not hunting, so I could put a spotlight on him, but I don't want to shine my lights into their eyes. So this is actually working out for the best for everyone, for the animal, and then as well as the other people on safari. Isn't he beautiful though? Okay, let's move again. We'll just play reverse, reverse. I don't mind doing this too much. Good practice. I'm going to go even further back this time. Connor, is Connor in final control? Our Connor, Wild Earth Connor. Connor says that, who is one of the engineers, he said that Tingana is so considerate. He arrived in the last 20 minutes. I agree with you 100%. For once, he's not a last-minute leopard, because a last-minute leopard implies that you arrive literally in the last 2 minutes of the show, which he is known for doing. Is the... Oh, the other light is on. I was just checking. I was just making sure the big infrared light was on. He's coming straight towards us again. He's moving so quickly. So I'm going to go back again once more. Just keep doing. Look at you, I've started a trend because there's now another car trying to do exactly the same thing that I'm doing. Ha ha ha. Old trick this. Just get in front of the cat. Much easier than watching his bum walking down the road. Though it's not a bad bottom to look at. A spotted bottom. But I don't also want to block him. So that's why I'm giving him so much space. You can see how far away the other car is because I know he's coming this way. It is the best thing to do. Come on, give us another saw again. I'm hoping he does. And he's just ducked off of the road. We can still just see him moving behind those bushes. He might just come around. Let's see if we can see him. No. Can you see him there? Oh, where's Mike? Mike, he's just Ryan. He's just coming out here. Oh, they think they're going to go the long way. Oh, there he is. No, he's... Oh, they didn't hear my whistle. I didn't want to shout out. How cool is that? You beautiful cat, you. You were making me get more and more grey hairs. And the impala have spotted him and heard him. They're alarming now. You hear the alarm calls? Vivi, I think it is. I'm going to let him walk past now because I want Mike to get a chance too. Still can't hear that name. I'm so sorry. Look at him. He's going right past me. Hello, boy. He's a big cat. That is not a small leopard. Billy with a B, sorry. You're wondering if that was the infrared light that I'm going to just pull off the road and go around and let these guys do. We're going to do the same thing what we have been doing. I'm rather scared of going off-road here. And we'll catch him. I just wanted Mike to have the same experience. Sorry, Billy. So, yes, it is the infrared. It's just we can't see that light. The cats don't pick it up either. So it doesn't affect them. But it's still reflecting off of... oh my goodness, why have I gone black? What is it, that layer called? It starts with L. I've gone blank, completely gone blank now, but there's a reflective layer that starts with an L. For the life of me, I don't know why, I can't remember the name. And that's what it's reflecting off. We call that the tapetum flash. So we'll still see that. Oh, I'm gonna have to jump on there. Oh, Mike wasn't even here, he moved. Go over here. He's going to pop out just next to the car. I'm not going to go in front of the road. We're just going to hang tight. He's going to come here, Craig. Here he comes. He might mark up against this tree, against this bush willow. The impala are now all alarming, but he's not interested in them. He doesn't look hungry. He's got a big belly, so he's obviously eaten something at some point, which is good. So he's got enough energy to keep him going so that he can continue marking. And he'll probably go all the way into Torchwood this evening. You might find that we find him on Chitwa tomorrow morning. That's his normal route, and he'll do that quite easily in one evening. We're going to play leapfrog again as he disappears. There's another car that's just going to jump in front. We won't be able to do what I just did now. Oh, we could, Craig, we could be sneaky. We're going to go on the fire break. Look at us. Oh. If we can start the car. Go back in here. Hello, Jan. Did you get my message? Oh, okay, no problem. Okay, great. I was just chatting quickly to Johan. He's a landowner in Buffelshoek, and it was the same thing I was telling you about yesterday, where the kids were so excited about seeing the vehicles, which was really quite cool. So I was just making sure to see if he got my message that I'd sent him. Wanted to come and have a look. I need to race around and try and pick up on Tingana, so I'm going to send you back across to Ali.
Amazing! So happy that Tingana was actually there, and he was, as you guys were saying, a considerate leopard this time around and didn't leave it for the last few minutes. We have been bumbling about, see if maybe we can find any smaller nocturnal creatures, and so far we've only managed to get the small pearl-spotted owlet, but sadly it flew away before we could actually frame the camera, which I feel it's the case with a lot of these little tiny nocturnal creatures, but nonetheless we'll carry on looking. I'm trying a completely different area today, see if maybe we can have a bit of better luck than what we did yesterday, although we did see 18 chameleons, and we'll see what else it is that we can find around here. And I wonder, we haven't seen giraffe in a while, so I'm a bit puzzled as to where they might be. Maybe tomorrow that should be what we look for. The very big, tallest creature on earth that we haven't seen for a few days. I think probably the last time that they were here, the lions were sniffing around one of them, so maybe that sent them all running into all different directions, and that's why we haven't seen any since then, or at least I haven't been able to spot any giraffes for a few days now. I think tomorrow might be a good day to start looking for giraffes, or even the IR tonight if we were to bump into one, see what the nocturnal life of giraffe is like. Alright, are you a little owl? No, you are part of the tree? Natalie, you're wondering if we have any full moon traditions. Not that I'm aware of, to be honest. I don't think there are any around here. I don't know if there are any full moon traditions by the local community either. I don't think so. It's just the only main thing that full moons are known for, and unfortunately it's not a nice thing. They're also known as poachers' moons. So I think in the last few years they have been known as poachers' moons because it's so light and the moon casts away so much light. Then poachers that come on foot into these areas looking for either rhinos or elephants or sometimes even lions, apparently. They can see a bit further into the bush, so it's a bit of a downer in that regard, and I think that's what full moons have been associated to in the last few years in South Africa, which is a bit sad because it's such a beautiful natural phenomenon that is associated to such a horrible practice by humans. Oh, there were some eyes there, but I can't see what it is now. I think it was an antelope species. So I shall carry on. Seems like Tayla has caught up with Tingana taking a break, so let's go over to her before Tingana runs away.
He's not on the property anymore. He's now on Buffelshoek. He's just resting. All those lights that you can see, those are spotlights. It's like he's, well, I suppose he is centre on stage this evening. He's just taking a little break. You can see he's panting slightly. He's not moving slowly, so he'll be feeling nice and warm. Oh, and up again. Are you going to come towards us, Mr. T? Let's wait for him. Let's try and see where exactly he's going to go. Maybe he likes us. I think that leopards do enjoy the wild earth guides. We always have such fantastic sightings of them and up close and personal experiences. Where's he going? Oh, you can't see it because it's behind the car. I can just see a bush willow bouncing up and down. So he's obviously jumping up and into it again. I think he's going to come back here. Yes, here he comes, straight through the bushes. Now, William, who's from South Africa and is only 7 years old, you're wondering, what do leopards eat the most? Well, William, anything that they can catch, but Tingana seems to enjoy catching warthogs. He's a specialist at catching warthogs. He's going to walk right past the car again. But he'll eat duiker, which is a small antelope. He'll eat steenbok, impala, Inyala. He'll catch anything that he can. But remember, leopards aren't very good hunters. None of the cats are actually the greatest hunters, unfortunately. What's she doing there? Just going back and marking. Now, opportunistic feeders, so they take every opportunity that they can get. Let me quickly turn around for you, Craigie. I can't see. Sorry, I'm blinded by the presenter light. I don't know where I'm going now. And the car won't go into reverse either. Okay, you have to help me if I need to go back because I actually can't see a thing. Ah, and I'm blind. Just gonna dim my light. Oh, I suppose we can have them on. And there he is again, just marking. What amazes me is how much urine they actually have. I think it's amazing. And you obviously see it with leopards and lions continuously moving about, spraying up against the trees. However, rhinoceros, my goodness, the amount of urine that they spray in one go is amazing. It's almost like a couple of liters every single time. Well, it looks like that. That always amazes me. I'm trying to think if we can go around him. No, we can't go here just yet. I can maybe go once he goes past this turn. I might be able to sneak around and we can thing again, get a view of him. Okay, Craig, let's go off-road, but I need to go to low range, but I bet it hasn't. No. Gonna be rough with this car. Can't be gentle with her. Please don't be any. Oh, there is a log here too, is it? No, not a log. Try and find a nice gap. Please don't be any aardvark holes that I'm going to fall into. That won't be too nice. Watch out, Craig. No, I've got myself caught just slightly on the tree. There's just a little bit of this tree that I'm stuck on. There we go. We're out. Oh, goodness gracious. Now I need my lights on to be able to see what's going on here. Gonna have to go the scenic way around. Let me just put some more on so I don't drive over any big stumps. It's actually really warm up here now. Have to stand up so I can see. Okay, we'll go through one more set of, we'll try and find a gap off here to the left. He's coming quickly though. I don't know if I'm going to be quick enough. Wow, that's beautiful. Okay. We're in front of him. Goodness gracious, why do you have to be like the Titanic today? See all the cars and all their lights. We've got no lights on now, just the presenter light that's on me. That is so beautiful. Tingana. Should we actually go out of infrared to show them how lovely this is? What do you think, Craig? Look at this. This will be nice. Beautiful backlit leopard. Wonderful. Right, we're going to send you across to Ellie. She's found something that comes out of the water at night.
It's a hippo! Out in the open. We got so excited. We definitely were not expecting to see this one here, and I wonder if it's not perhaps Scuba Steve. We're not too far from Treehouse Dam, and I think this might be who this leopard is. This leopard. Look at me. I don't even know what I'm saying anymore. I got so excited with leopard talk. Who this hippo might be. Now, he's a bit wary, likely because he doesn't see too many humans out and about in the open, but he's pretty much walked all the way from Treehouse Dam into this general area, not too far from the lodge, and he's been busy eating all the grass. This was an amazing bonus. Did not expect to see a big hippo. Now he's pretending that he's not there and that we can't really see him. Oh, such an awesome find. And to be fair, and to be really honest with everyone, the first thing that we saw was actually its bum moving away. So I initially thought it was perhaps a buffalo, but no, it's a hippo, and there it goes. Taking it very easy. John, you say this is the first time you've seen a hippo out of the water. Well, it's not a common sight, so I'm very happy we managed to get this one, because we see often their tracks when we start moving during, especially during the morning. So it is a good proof that they do come out of the water and that they are around here. And you see how scary would it be to walk around in the African bush. Not only you have to worry about lions and leopards, but also about big, very hippos. Well, very big hippos, not big, very hippos. I can't even think. And there's its fluffy little tail. Oh my, like, just by a few moments and we would have missed it. This is epic. Colleen, you say this is cool but scary. Yes, it is a bit scary because sometimes we don't know how hippos are going to react outside of the water. The water is their home, their safe haven. So if they're feeling a bit threatened when we see them in the water, they just normally go down. So sometimes at night they might be a bit wary about everything. I think it's just moving. I want to try and perhaps going around, see if maybe we'll get another view from the other side. That would be quite exciting. See its big head again. Whew. Interesting. Oh, okay. I don't think we're going to be able to see him from this side. The termite mound is very big. Alright, we're going to leave this hippo, but let's go back to Tayla, who's trying to keep up with Mr. T.
We are most certainly trying to keep up with him. I'm just going to keep rolling forward like this. He'll pop out now in the next gap. He's on his way towards Buffelshoek Dam. He's probably going to go for a drink of water. He must be very thirsty after all his walking around today. Here we go. It was most certainly worth the wait, don't you think? I almost lost my patience just with waiting for cats. But I ended up holding tight, and it was absolutely worth it. Nature definitely does test you at times, and I'm glad I didn't let it get to me, because wow, what a cat. I'm going to pull off, sorry Craig, I'll go right down into this little spot here, and we'll let him walk around. How cool is this? Walking right next to the car, not bothered by our presence at all, marking absolutely beautiful. You can see why he is the dominant male in the area. Look at that dewlap. Look at all his muscle on power coming from his shoulders right down towards his hindquarters. Like I said, he's not a small cat. And all the younger males that in this area have to be particularly careful. But it has been such a wonderful day, and I hope that you've enjoyed it. We've seen lots of different things. How great that you also got to see a hippopotamus outside the water. I'm just going to let them know that they can go past us. We won't be able to continue following him now. We'll let the other guys jump in front. How great. Anyways, exciting. Maybe we see him tomorrow morning. We'll see if we can. Join us for the sunrise safari, and we'll see you all soon.